What's going on, guys? Today I want to talk to you a little bit about the multi-tool that I carry and why it's so valuable and why you should carry one. So the type of pants I wear carpenter's pants, and the cool thing about carpenter's pants is they have a little pocket along the side of your right leg here. There's actually two pockets, but in that pocket I keep two things. I keep a marking device, so I keep a Sharpie in there. And I also keep this multi-tool. Now, I've lost multi-tools in the past, so what I've done is I've taken a small non-load bearing carabiner, I've attached a piece of cordage to that, and I actually made this hook out of a piece of wire and an old wire connector, and I bolted that onto my multi-tool. So I thought that was kind of a creative way to tether this multi-tool to my person. And this carabiner just clips on my back pocket like so, you know, if it ever pops out of the pocket, then it will always be attached to me. But yes, I work for a DPW department right now. I'm a civil servant, I guess, and that means I could be doing anything, which I kind of enjoy. You know, one day we'll be inside replacing a light fixture, next day we'll be outside and I'll be working on a heavy piece of equipment. So the tool that suits me best is this one. Yes, there are like plier style multi-tools. Those are good, but I find myself needing to tighten and loosen nuts and bolts much more than I need a pair of pliers. So, you know, granted, you want to find a multi-tool that suits your needs, absolutely. So, first and foremost, like I said, this is an adjustable wrench for tightening nuts and bolts, and it's very handy. It's not really great for larger and high torque nuts and bolts, but for small things here and there, very handy. I use this at least once a week, the adjustable wrench portion of this, but I'm using this multi-tool literally every day. Additionally, first thing we have in line here is a file, and on the end of the file there's a bit of a flathead, which you can use as a flathead screwdriver, and I want to talk about the screwdrivers a little bit more towards the end of this video. To be honest, the file is pretty much worthless. I've tried sharpening a couple things. You know, it helps sharpen things a little bit, but not really that handy. But the flathead screwdriver, very handy, and it's good for prying little things, paint lids, things like that. Next thing we have in line is a permanently attached Phillips head, as well as a bottle opener, which don't really use the bottle opener, but you know, if I'm kicking around the shop and I want to open a beer, I have that. But a fixed Phillips head is absolutely necessary. You need to have a Phillips head and a flathead screwdriver on your multi-tool, in my opinion. What else do we have here? Trying to open this up. I don't think I've ever opened up this section of the multi-tool. Alright, so I didn't even realize this was in here, but this is a saw, little wood saw. You need to cut a little limb or branch or something along those lines, which it's handy to have. I've never really had a use for it though. Suppose if I'm going down a trail and I need to cut a little branch off that's kind of sticking out in the way, I could always do that. And finally, right next to that, I have a knife, which I use the knife all the time. And it sharpens very easily, so always good to have a knife. You must have a knife. Let me rephrase there. Here's the multi-tool that I've had in the past, which is very similar. It has this adjustable wrench style head, but as you can see, I was trying to tighten down a bolt or loosen a bolt that was a little bit out of this thing's league, and I ended up breaking it. So know your limitations on these things. Don't try and force a bolt that won't move, because you'll end up breaking these. They are kind of fragile, but they're strong. They're strong enough to do the job as long as you're smart about it. I think one of the biggest flaws of my old multi-tool was the bit driver set. So, like I said, I think it's absolutely vital that you have a Phillips head and a flathead screwdriver on your multi-tool. With this system, it had this little rail right here, and then you are supposed to insert it into the tip of this adjustable wrench right here, which there's a little magnet in here. Well, there's a couple issues with this whole system. One, as you can see, I only have one tip left, and these aren't your standard size tips. These are actually a bit smaller, so I'm not really sure where to purchase them other than, you know, online specialized retailers, which I didn't really feel like spending the money on. So the tips get lost easily when they're loose like this. That's why it's a great idea to have them fixed or permanent like this. So that's why I really like this multi-tool. Another issue with this system is I'm always working around steel, and sometimes little shards fall in my pocket, or I'll throw this thing on the table And when you're working with steel, especially grinders, it throws off a lot of steel dust. And then that gets picked up on this magnet. So now, if I try and insert this tip, I'm not sure if you caught it before, it doesn't insert there as much as it should. It should be going down at least a 1/4 inch more, but that magnet's all filled up and it's kind of difficult to really get that stuff out of there. I'm not really sure what the best way to get it out of there is. So that's two of the flaws that I've had with this one. And yeah, I really like this multi-tool. Like I said, you know, some people may need plier version better, but adjustable wrench like this, absolutely invaluable and incredibly cheap. One closing thought here. I'm always looking to make myself more valuable. I want my bosses to know that I am their most valuable employee. That way, hopefully down the road, I can climb the ladder and produce more income for myself. And one of the simple ways you can do that is simply by carrying a multi-tool. I know whenever something goes awry at work, everyone always turns to me because they always know I carry this little multi-tool, and there's many things I can do with this multi-tool in conjunction with my creative mind. So something as simple as a multi-tool can make you more valuable as a person, you know, of course, depending on your work environment, but you know, just kind of keep that in mind. Try and become more valuable. That way you can make more income for yourself. So that's all I have for this video. If you guys like this multi-tool, which I absolutely love this thing, I'll leave a link for it in the description below. And you feel like purchasing it, I'd appreciate you clicking through that link because it gives my channel a little bit of income. I make, you know, a small fraction of a couple dollars this thing's worth, and it just helps support the channel and encourages me to do more YouTube videos. So thanks for watching and subscribe for more.